Dear 5th graders, welcome to science lesson. I hope you are healthy and safe. Last lesson we mentioned about the light intensity, and this lesson we will also continue how we will measure the light intensity. You know that light intensity can be measured, and yes, how we will measure it? Last lesson we learned, light sources can be bright or dim. What's dim? Black and white. Or it can be dark or glowing. It's mean they are intense different by different light sources. And last lesson we mentioned, we know sun is brighter than a candle, or a lighthouse is brighter than a torch. And according to it, the scientists need to measure light intensity. And they used photodiode, we mentioned last lesson, or the other name of the photodiode is the light meters. Okay. Now, let's start today's topic. How we will measure light intensity? During the 19th century, electric light was invented. And by electricity, we have more light. And in 1920s, light intensity was measured. They use luminance. Let's learn what is the meaning of luminance. Luminance is the total amount of visible light. And this total amount of visible light is measured in lumen. And 1 lumen is equal to 1 lux. What is the lux? Let's learn it. This is the measuring unit of light intensity. It's mean when we measured light intensity, we will say lux at the end. When we measure the height, we are saying meter. When we measure the light intensity, we will say lux at the end. And let's explain one more time. We said that when light invented, scientists measured the light intensity by using luminance. Luminance is the total amount of visible light. And this total amount of visible light unit, it means light intensity unit, is the lux. 1 lux also is equal to 1 lumen. Okay, why is the light intensity important? Why we are speaking about it too much? When we are building the offices or factories, light intensity will be more important. If the light is too bright in factories, workers might suffer from headache or cost of electricity will be high. It must be enough, but it must be not too bright. Or if the buildings are too dark, this is also dangerous in the factories. Why? Workers may not be able to see and cannot do their work properly. Yes, light intensity important, and it must change according to place. And last lesson we mentioned about the operation room in hospital. In the operation room in hospital, light intensity must be higher. It must be bright places. But your bedroom, you want to sleep, if light is too bright, it's not good for you. And let's mention the light intensity. This is the activity and this is the measurement. When you are washing clothes, as you see, it must be, light intensity must be between 100 and 150. During eating, 200, between 200 and 300. During reading or studying, light intensity must be between 500 and 1500. As you see, light intensity also must change according to activity. We said light intensity will change according to places. Also, at the same time, light intensity must change according to activity. And let's mention about the light intensity. There is a table in your book, and in this table mention about distance from the light source and light intensity. Let's observe them. If distance 10 centimeters, as you see, 930 lux. Lux, you know, unit of light intensity. And let's see the distance numbers. Distance numbers are increasing. Firstly 10, later, as you see, 15, 20, 25. As you see, it is starting from 10 and increasing. And when distance is increased, what will happen? Light intensity will decrease or reduce. It means if it is far away, like 70 centimeter, will be darker because light intensity, as you see, smaller, it means darker. If it is near places, light intensity higher. If it is far away, light intensity lower. And by the distant places, it will be dark. If it is near to the light source, it will be bright. This is very bright places. It is very dark places. Okay, I hope you understood. Let's repeat one more time about the light intensity, and I'll explain the examples. Okay, we said that light intensity measured by luminance. Luminance means total amount of visible light, and light intensity unit is the lux, and it is important for different places. It's important for different activities. And according to distance, light intensity also will change. If it is near to the light source, it will be brighter. It means light intensity will be higher, like 930. If it is far away from the light source, it will be darker. It means light intensity will be lower. Okay, let's continue. Last lesson, we mentioned about the examples in which places light intensity are using or will used. Okay, you know that digital cameras or mobile phone cameras are using the light meters. If it is not enough light, flash automatically will be used. Okay, or we mentioned about the solar calculator. You know, solar calculator take the sunlight energy and transfer it to electrical energy and turn on. It means if this place take the sunlight, it is turn on. If no light here or closed this part, no sunlight will enter and it will be turned off. And also, we mentioned about the lights near the road, big or near the big buildings. And they are working automatically because they contain light meters, and by the light meters they recognize the light. If there isn't enough light, they turn on automatically. Okay, we mentioned about these examples in the last lesson. Okay, yes, let's turn back. We mentioned about the light intensity, and we said that scientists measure the light intensity because it is necessary to use different types of light in different places. Okay, I hope you understood. Please try to do exercise in your book about this topic. See you next lesson.